Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today, the very important topic of conversation is boots, because we're very fast approaching the cooler seasons of the year, autumn, winter, they're right upon us, and I just feel that we need to have a little chat about boots. Now, over the last few weeks, lots of you guys have been messaging, commenting on the videos and Instagram posts and whatnot, and asking me lots of questions about boots. The number one question being, what are my favourite styles and kind of must-have styles for autumn winter? So I thought that's what we would talk about in today's video. Now I don't even mention a number, I haven't actually counted them, but I have a lot of boots and I have just wheedled it down, refined it if you like, to 5 different boot styles that I feel are kind of, not necessities so much, but sort of really good staples to have in your autumn winter wardrobe. Boot style number 1 is the Chelsea boot. Now I'm a London girl, so my wardrobe would not be without a Chelsea boot. They're practical, they're comfortable, they're versatile. It's kind of everything that you really look for in a boot. Now, I'm featuring these from my own collection because I love them and they were probably one of the best investments I have ever made for my wardrobe. These are what I would say is the traditional Chelsea boot with the elasticated section here, the rounded toe but quite narrow and slim, and then a very, very slight heel, and this for me would be very much an everyday boot. Now, one of the FAQs that you guys have been asking me recently is how to wear boots with jeans, specifically Chelsea boots and other ankle boots. Well, with the Chelsea boots, something like this, they do tend to be slightly more fitted around the ankle, which is why they have this elasticated section here so that they can expand. So what I would prefer to do is wear a Chelsea boot with a pair of skinny jeans. I just feel like skinny jeans just match the whole aesthetic of a Chelsea boot. Of course, it's down to personal taste, but that's just my own preference. So I would wear these either under a pair of skinny jeans or with the jeans tucked in, but they do have to be super skinny in order for it to look right. You could also roll up your jeans so that they fall literally just above the tops of the boots so that when you walk you don't get a bit of ankle flashing, which of course is never ideal in winter just because of the chill factor. It's not so much an aesthetic thing, it's just that I'd rather be, warm and toasty. Right, now my second pair of boots, I wanted to feature another pair which were slightly different, although these are also by Saint Laurent. These ones are obviously suede. They have more of a pointed toe, although not a severe point, it's more of like a pointed almond. And I feel like if you've already got the classic pair of black Chelsea boots, it's a good option to add in a second pair. If you find that there's something you wear really frequently, then I would add in a second pair in a slightly different colour and perhaps a slightly different fabric. Now, it's worth me mentioning that obviously suede, regardless of the colour or style in footwear, is never the most practical option. I have sprayed these with pretty much an entire can of suede protector spray, but they would be the sort of boot that I would avoid if I knew if it was going to rain. So obviously not the most practical, but my God, do they look good. Right, moving on to boot style number 2, which is the pointed toe boot. Now I feel like these are definitely the more work appropriate boot. I know you can get some really beautiful looking Chelsea boots, but I feel like they borderline sort of say weekend vibes. They're erring more on the casual side, whereas I feel like a pointed toe doesn't have to be a super high heel. I always go for like a low or mid heel in a lot of my boots because I want them to be wearable. I want them to be comfortable, most importantly. So these ones are from Dear Francis. These are called the Kit boots. And as you can see, I have these in the brown mock croc colourway, but they do also come in some classic leather styles as well. And the black leather, and I think they come in a cream and like an olivey coloured leather. The leather is so soft and supple. It's like having gloves on your feet. They're so comfortable. These ones, because of the leather is a bit textured, they're a little bit stiffer, so they do need a little bit more wearing to break in. Now I have a second pair here as well, which technically are a pointed toe boot and also a Chelsea boot. Now, the reason that I say this kind of boot is more of a workwear style boot is because they go really nice with tailored trousers. I just feel like this is the more autumn winter version of wearing a court shoe. So it looks chic, looks really smart, and it looks professional. And as I said, if you opt for a low to mid heel, then they're going to be super comfortable, especially if you work in an environment where you have to be on your feet a lot. But if you don't work in an office environment, I also think these are a really good shout. I obviously don't work in an office environment unless you would class my lounge as an office, and I cannot live without a pair or like 20 pointed toe boots, because they just make an outfit look so chic. It's that pointed toe. They elongate the leg as well if you're going to wear all one colour, so that's a good tip for you guys. If you're going to wear black jeans and a pair of black boots, they would make your legs look longer. Now moving on to boot style number 3, and I wanted to feature something that was a little bit more casual, something that you can wear on a weekend, something that you can wear if you're going to go on, I don't know, a countryside walk or to the pub, something that just makes you feel not that dressy, but something that is also really cool. Enter the lace-up boot. Now these ones are from Dear Francis. As you can tell, I'm a big Dear Francis fan, and I bought these ones last year. These are called the Park boots, and I know they might look quite chunky because they do have a bit of a chunky sole and a chunky aesthetic to them, but this sole is actually super light. So they are a very, very practical boot for the autumn winter seasons. And here's another little top tip. If you buy them slightly on the larger side, you can make them really practical for winter by popping in a sheepskin insole and leaving yourself with plenty of room to wear some thicker wool or cashmere socks. This is the leather that I was referencing for the kit boots. It's the same in the Park boots. Super soft, super supple. They don't need any breaking in whatsoever. And there are lots of affordable alternatives as well if these are out of your price range. Now my second pair of boots are from Marks and Spencer's. I haven't worn these yet. These are actually a very recent purchase, and I bought these for our trip this month to Canada, because obviously we're going to Banff and Jasper and Lake Louise, having a little mini road trip, a very outdoorsy road trip. So I figured that these are going to be perfect. They are essentially just like a hiker boot, but they're a hiker boot made fashion. So they have a zippy closure on the side, which if you're not a fan of faffing about with laces, then that's a bit of a cheat, because you can just lace them up, leave them, and there's your access to put your foot in. These are tan suede, and despite the fact that they are a very outdoorsy looking boot, I still think that with a tailored coat, big chunky scarf, chunky sweater, I think that they are very much city appropriate, and they can look really, really cool for the autumn winter seasons. Boot number 4 is what I'm classing as the statement boot. So it's not just your ordinary boot in black or tan or whatever colour you would prefer. I'm saying it's something that's a little bit different to what you've got, something that makes a bit more of a statement, adds a touch of detail to your outfit. So as an example, animal print. Animal print is never out of fashion. I hate kind of going by rules of fashion, what's in and what's not. I tend to go by just what I like and what I think fits in with my personal style and my wardrobe. But animal print is one of those things that never goes out of style. So I had a look at my collection, and I thought the first pair that I want to show you guys is these, and these actually work really well with my wardrobe. A boot like this goes so well, and I know it might seem boring to a lot of people, but they go so well with an all black outfit, and it just adds, like I said earlier, that little touch of detail to the look. But if these warmer neutral tones and brownie tones aren't quite your thing, then perhaps you might want to look for, you know, a slightly cooler tone and monochrome version of animal prints. Now I know these are bordering on a very similar colourway, but obviously these are leopard print, and I just love the colours of this leopard print. There's nice deep brown in there, a little mix adding in a bit of tan, and then obviously the black for the spots. And they have this beautiful pony skin texture to them. They were such a good boot. The heel is a nice chunky block heel, so it's more comfortable. Even though it's quite high, I still feel that I can wear these boots in an all day kind of situation. They have a pointed toe, so perhaps if you have wider feet, pointed toe isn't always the best way to go unless you can get a wide fit. I know that a lot of you guys have also got these boots, because every time I whip them out in autumn winter, you go, oh my god, I bought those boots as well. I'm so glad I kept them. I will never ever get rid of these boots, so anyone that asks me to put these on Depop, No, 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 no. And finally, on to my fifth and final boot style. Ta-da! It is the over the knee or knee high. I've kind of put what I would class as tall boots into the same category. Now these are the famous Stuart Weitzman Highland boots, and these were very much a classic. They were actually first brought out in 2013 and they're just beautiful, because my issue is when it comes to boots that fit over the knee or even up to the knee, I have very large feet. For the most part, I'm a size 41 because a lot of places don't do the half sizes. So I have very slim legs and large feet. And the ratio of those two things together, it's very difficult to get a boot that fits thigh high, that actually fits both my calves and my thighs because my legs are so slim. So if you have that problem, and I know they are so expensive, I think these are around like £700. If you have that problem, just go try a pair on, because I have yet to find another pair of boots that fit me on the leg as perfectly as these. Now, sizing issues aside, I just feel like having a boot like this, and they're by no means a necessity, but having an over the knee or a knee high boot just gives you that little extra bit of variation for your autumn winter outfits. Also adds, especially if you're going for an over the knee, a little bit of extra sort of sexy appeal as well to your looks. If thigh high isn't your thing, maybe just drop down a few inches and go to somewhere like a knee high boot. I just feel like this season there's a lot of nods to the 60s and 70s. There's a lot of that whole sort of mod look going around. So these paired with something like a little suede mini skirt, you can wear them with tights and other forms of hosiery if you will, but they are just a really good boot. And I also think that these would integrate nicely into a workwear wardrobe. Of course, it depends on the specific dress code of your workplace, but again, as I said, if you wear skirts, maybe longer dresses, then I think these are just another good option to have. Right, there we go guys, we've had a little chat about boots today. I hope you got some sort of styling inspiration as well from some of those cutaways that we featured. If you've got any questions at all, perhaps about sizing or anything, just leave those down in the comment section below. And until next time, I bid you farewell. TTFN. Adios. Auf Wiedersehen. Bonjour. Bye bye.